Good morning. Welcome to sunny Winnipeg. Yeah, the clouds sort of rolled by, and by about 6 o'clock the sun had come out in the evening, and I was able to get out for a quick scoot. You wouldn't think it the way it was out there. Remember when Missy the dog came by yesterday? It looked like it was going to be, settled in all day, but nope, it cleared up, and I got out. Now, a little while ago, I was sitting here and I was looking at the step 15, and I have concluded that unless something very unexpected happens, we are going to be able to finish step 15 today. We're not going to be cutting these doors down. We're just going to put them on full length. The reason being is that when we view this ship, the bow is up here. When we view it, we'll be viewing it from the other side, and hopefully the piece that we put on that is probably mirror image to this, we will cut the doors on it so that we can sort of see through, and we will just see the back side of these doors, which will be painted white or something very, very light. I still haven't decided or started yet painting the insides of the modules. And then I'm going to start thinking about, well, where are the LEDs going to go? How is the wire going to run? And stuff like that. I got to keep that all in mind so that I don't get a part glued on, and then I later find out that I can't drill holes for the LED or the wires. Speaking of glue, I think it was Mark, Aussie Frenchman Mark, reminded me, why didn't you use, or you could have used the weld bond to glue the railing to the, and that's what I'm going to use today. There's a little bit of railing that has to go right here. There's a little bit that has to go right here, and on the other side, right here where I'm touching that you can't see, this ladder has to go. We might see it when we look in from the other side. It's hard to say. That sort of makes a person think, and I just thought it now, maybe it might be a good idea to paint the bulkhead white on the other side here before I put that ladder on, because it'd be kind of hard to. And as far as painting the inside parts go, I think I could probably get away with brushing it. I don't know if I'd need to. I don't need it. It doesn't have to be a real high quality job, because it's going to be kind of hard to see in there anyway, and you won't notice if it's brush painted or spray painted. At least that's my opinion. Anyway, So Mark now I remember the comment. He reminded me that the other Australian Mark had suggested this. Is everybody in Australia named Mark? Okay. Well, that's okay if you are. Yeah, they got a few good Aussie friends. Every time I think of Aussie friends, at least recently, I think of our friend Peter, who had a heart attack, and that was quite a loss to the model community as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, that was sad. Anyway, let's get going here. There we go. Very carefully. This cloth that I've got over here, I've got that here because when I lay this thing down, it's very hard to get it to stay balanced on its edge like this, and it inevitably rolls either this way or the other way, and then it's going to be on the lens. And as you have noticed with this camera, the lenses stick out. Well, they have to, so that it can see all the way around itself. Amazing. the way they've got that stitching technology, so that you can just barely even see the selfie stick. You can sort of see where it is, but yeah, it's quite the little camera. I kind of like it. I wish it was sharper. I know I've said that before, but then sharp is my thing. If it ain't sharp, it's not right, you know. Okay, yeah, let's get going here. I'll get something to put the a little dollop of weld bond in, so I can dip it out, and we'll give it a try. I can't remember if this does dry clear, but does it dry flat clear or glossy clear? If it's flat clear, it won't require any touch-up work. That'd be kind of nice. But I got a feeling it's maybe a little bit on the glossy side. And we'll soon see. Yeah, we'll soon see. Let's get out of here. I don't have any other news. I don't know I haven't checked the weather yet, so I don't know what it's going to be today, but I think it's going to be nice. It's already up to 15 degrees outside. That's a little cool. That's why I don't have my windows open. The house did cool down overnight, and so I don't like being chilly when I'm sitting here at the model table. You'll notice that I'm very seldom do I wear a long sleeved shirt. When I bought the Goldwing, Bill Cycle gave me another shirt, and it is a long sleeved one. It says Honda on the front, and it doesn't have big floppy sleeves that when I reach over something they're gonna catch. So I'll sometimes wear that. My goodness, now we've turned this into a clothing show. Okay, let's get at it here and recompose. Get the camera down on the table and get moved in. I don't know which one I'm going to do first. You know, I guess hey, if we're going to be putting this ladder on a painted surface, maybe the thing to do is to quickly paint the backside white here, which means that these doors should go on because they have to be painted white. Decisions. Yeah, this build is making me have to think. Okay. If we're going to be painting the back side of this, these doors have to be on. And we can't really do it while it's on here. So we're going to want to very carefully lift this more or less straight up. Now I am going to have to probably wiggle it to get it loose. I think it's coming. Okay, now when we pull it out, how are we going to lay it down so that our ladders and everything are not going to get... that turned out pretty good for something that we're not going to even look at. But now these doors have to be, I believe they get mounted from the other side. Now let's be very careful where I grab here. Now this stuff is all fairly well glued in. I imagine I could break it off if I wasn't careful. But, okay. Yeah, so these doors have to be mounted in little tracks, you might call it, on this thing. And then we could probably paint this whole thing white. And then the ladder that you see down there, I believe it gets mounted just right under this hatch or door. Yeah, looks like some sort of a watertight door there. I'm hoping that when we view this part in from this side like this, we are going to be able to see this. I imagine we are, otherwise why would they do it? Now, how can I lay this down? Okay, I guess it'd be okay to lay it down like this. we wouldn't be damaging anything fragile here. Yeah. But in order to put the doors on, we have to have it laying the other way. Now, what's going to happen if we lay it down this way? What is going to want to break off? Is anything going to want to break off? No, I don't think so. So we should be able to work on it very carefully, of course. Yeah, I don't think anything's catching there. This part right here might be touching, but I don't think so. Yeah, that should work out. Okay, let's recompose here and find a place to put it on the green cloth, and then get our doors glued in place. Maybe I'll use the weld bond for the... No, I better not. I was thinking the weld bond won't run, but I got to remember to keep an eye on the monitor, because sometimes I'll put something out of your field of view. I try to keep it right. Okay, we've got ourselves a bit of a Chinese puzzle going on here. This is the part that we just made, and we just removed it from these two slots right here. And I was kind of curious. What happened was I was kind of curious as to when do we make the mirror image of this. And I was perusing ahead in the manual, and it just didn't show it. Well, I should have been perusing back in the manual. We've already made it. It's this one right here. Remember, we got some of the doors are open and some of them are closed. More than others. It is supposed to go like this. Yeah, these two pegs fit into those slots there, but I guess that's supposed to go something like this. However, this one that we just finished here, I can't seem to get it to line up. Like we made these way back, if you remember. So they're in the right place. This piece and this piece. And this one that you can hardly see over here with the ship's boat on it, this actually goes on the stern. But this is supposed to go. Okay, if we turn this around. Yeah, that's right. So this is supposed to be the inside. Okay, there must be something else. Okay, that would go in here. And this one, oh, it doesn't quite line up. That's not right either. That is not quite right. Or is this, wait a minute, I got the wrong piece. Don't know why I'm having so much trouble with this. It's not really that complicated. Well, maybe when I have the boat turned around, the hull turned around, I'll be able to see better from the other side. I got to be careful when I'm handling this. There's some, we got a little photo etch railing and so on. There's a lot of parts that are easily broken off. And or was it this piece that's supposed to go in? But then we won't be able to see in from the other side. This whole area here, right from stem to stern, you might say, is basically hollow. Now I know it's closed off right here, and we can't see in there, so we don't need to worry about painting this white, because we can't see in anyway. But this area here, I think we want to paint this white because we might be looking in from an angle. I'm just going to push stop here and try and figure this out. There's, yeah, I'm just wondering what we got to paint white and what we don't. Okay, let's sort of start again here. This is the piece that we just finished up. This is the piece that goes on the other side here. The mirror image to it that I was wondering about, that we already did weeks ago. And it plugs in basically like this. Now let's remember that on the other side of this part is some pretty fragile stuff. Okay, it goes basically like that. Now the funny part of it is, this piece here, it has a positioning tongues right here, and they go into these two slots over here. Now let's be careful not to break that ladder off. But when you do plug it in, look what happens. It does fit there. See that door that we have partially open? It's going to be covered up by this panel right here. So if I want to be able to see in there, we're going to have to cut this open. I don't think that's an impossibility, but we'd be cutting into like where that positioning tongue is. That's kind of, yeah, that's strange. Okay, we're not getting anywhere here. I think what I will do, but not now, is I will cut this out so that it will match this opening over here. But like I say, we're not going to do that now. I want to see if we can't get step 15 done today. And we're not going to get it done if I'm going to get sort of sidetracked with something that doesn't, another step. Now, this piece here, we concluded it was safe to lay it like this. All right, and these, here we are, we're back to where we were an hour ago. These doors have to be glued in place, like so. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. And remember, Ron, don't give it a bath. Just tack it in place. That's all you need to do. Then this whole backside will be painted white. I might conclude that all these pieces could be left for a while and then spray all of them basically at the same time. That might be the way to go, because we don't actually start placing these modules, little mini modules, down until I think it's step 30 something. Yeah. Okay, let's recompose and get these doors glued in place. Okay, if I wasn't to tell you this, you'd probably never know what had happened. But when I was putting the helping hand on here to help hold this level, I guess I was holding, and my thumb went underneath here where those ladders were that we put on yesterday, and I accidentally broke one off here. So we're going to have to glue this little guy back on later. I will do it quickly off camera, and we won't waste a bunch of time. That was too bad. Not the end of the world, but yeah. Now these doors, if you remember, they were going to be shut because we were going to be viewing the back side of them from the other side. I wonder if this is supposed to fit in there just a little bit better than it is. I might have to take Chris's file here and just go along the edge of the door, just to make it a little bit narrower. Actually, now that I think about it, it could be that one of Eric's sanding sticks would be better. We'll use the coarse one. It'll be almost as good as a file. And if I hold it down here on the model table, it should be fairly flat. I'll just do a little bit on each side. This will kind of get rid of the burrs, and I think it'll probably just drop into place there. No. Okay, remember that's the side that we painted with the 19. So this should just drop in there now. Do I have to do it just a tiny bit more, maybe? No, it went down. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. No use making the gap too big, because then the glue is not going to want to meld. Yeah, that's pretty good. Looks like a little burr or something on the bottom there. Oh, maybe not. All right, let's reposition and glue this in place. Now remember, Ron, when you grab this thing, watch where you put your fingers on the other side. Okay, I think that's pretty well seated. And we'll just take some extra thin here and let it wick into the crack. Okay, that should be good. It almost looks like it's not down on the left side there. It is now. Okay, here's hoping that when we turn that over and look on the other side, we're not going to have a blurry mess, because yeah. Wonder, being as we're going to paint this thing white later, let's wipe this off. Yeah. Okay, let's turn it over and see what we got. I should be able to do this while the camera's running. Yeah, that's okay. Now we can just do the others like that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly do them off camera, get them done. Okay, our doors are glued on. Our ladder's glued back in place, and in order to be able to get the ladder at the right angle, I had to plug this piece back down into the deck. May not be all the way down, but it's down enough. And next thing we got to do now is get these pieces put in place. And we're going to remember to use the weld bond. At least we're going to try it. Yeah. They snuck in on me again. Okay, just let me get myself organized here, Missy. Yeah, just let me get myself organized. I'm sorry I did not see you. I guess I was not looking in the right place at the right time. Now just hold on here. I gotta get some stuff. Let's get this out of the way. And we're gonna get this one going here. She says, hurry up. You're taking an awful long time to do this. Okay, well, you may as well come up. Sure, you can come up. Yeah, come on up. Ah! There you go. Yeah, I just was not organized. I was too busy trying to repair a little piece that I broke off, and yeah.
Frustrating?
No, it's the way it goes. It doesn't really bother me. When I broke it off, at first I was kind of mad at myself, but then I thought, what's the difference?
That's it.
I'm just putting in time anyway.
Until?
Until I don't know. How are you doing, Missy? How are you doing today? You doing all right? Yeah?
She had a good long sleep.
Oh, that's good.
They play tug of war at night. She has a big ball with holes in it, like a practice golf ball, only big and purple. And I throw it in the air, she grabs it, and she bangs my knee with it, and I grab it, and then we play tug of war back and forth. She could go on forever, and then I'm ready to quit. I let go of it, and she bangs it against my knees and looks at me up under her shade. We're very ferocious in the morning. Just around and barking all the time. She's not ready to quit playing.
Missy the dog. Missy the dog. Yeah, I guess I didn't notice that, I was so engrossed in what I was doing here that they had slipped out the back door. And, yeah. Well, we'll try and get it right tomorrow. Actually, who says what way it has to be, right? I guess you get yourself into a bit of a routine and you think you have to keep going in that same direction all the time. No, what were we doing here? Yeah, we were going to put this railing in place here. And it's 5 minutes after 10. I think I'm going to take a bit of a break here. Yeah, get out of my bike for a little quick scoot here. Okay, we are back. And I did take a ride to McDonald's. And then on the way back, I went through the old neighborhood. And instead of coming back the usual way, I went over the Redwood Bridge, north on Main Street, and then came back on Chief Baker's Trail. Those of you who want to follow the ride, probably be posted sometime after this episode. I'm going to have to recompose here a little bit, I think. Why is it that I'm seeing so much photo etch glinting on that? I guess I'm looking at the underside of the rail. Yeah, just let me recompose here. But maybe I should stick on the macro lens and just move right in. Okay, clearly what's happening here is we are looking at this part from the underside. And I guess when I sprayed it, hey, you'd be trembly too if you just drove an 800-pound motorcycle down a busy street. Okay, it'll be better this way. It was fun though. Oh, and as far as McDonald's goes, I was having a problem at the kiosk again. I don't know what happened, if it froze up. And yet McDonald's had a bunch of, I guess, high school kids in there, and they weren't having any problems. And I was too embarrassed to ask for help. So I just ended up going to the counter, ordering my coffee the old-fashioned way. I'm glad I don't have glue on that, because if I did, I'd be smearing it all over the place, wouldn't I? Okay, I think if I can get it to be like that, maybe just on the inside of that, I think it'll just sort of stand there all by itself. Yeah. Maybe I'll put a little bit of, I was going to use the weld bond, wasn't I? You know what, I think I got that upside down. because the photo etch is really showing. So let me take it off camera here and turn it over. Mind you, if I keep working at it like this, I'm going to have it completely scratched up all over the place. I had it really good before, except it was the wrong way up. Okay, that's not bad. Well, I just looked in the monitor. It's not very straight, is it? Okay, I think if I was to put a little bit of weld bond along this post that's going straight down here, and maybe along the bottom. Yeah. Let me just try a different tweezer here. I wonder if Tony's tweezers would work good in this case. Yeah, I can sort of grab onto it just a little bit better. It doesn't have a tendency to be swiveling. Okay, so here's what's happened. I went to release the spout, I guess you call it, on the weld bond, and it's all hardened on the inside of the spout. I guess it's been several months since I last used that. So I'm going to go back to my good old tried and true method here. Try and use the holder downer somehow. Now it could be I'm going to have to readjust it, maybe come in from the front instead of from the back. But I'm going to have to turn the camera off here until I get it, and then we'll just use CA glue and do it the way I've been doing it with the last 5 ships. Yeah. Sorry about that. Good idea though, Mark. Okay, it's about 4 minutes after 12 already. And I've been messing around with this thing. I had it just perfect. And I was getting all ready to put some CA on my little needle here, which is acting like one of those loops that you can buy. And I was going to just touch it on in the corner there and let it wick its way, which I'm going to try and do now. Anyway, what I'm saying is I bumped it. Oh my. Okay, so I'm taking some CA thin here. Now we're just going to let it try and wick its way along that bottom rail. It'll hold it in place, and then I can reinforce it later. There, you can see I've got it there, at least half of it. Okay, that's basically all of the bottom rail. Now maybe if I came in with a tiny little bit of curing agent, I could take the holder downer off. I'll just let it wick its way from the back. That should do it. Now I would think it is probably safe to lift our holder downer off. Okay, let's just set it off to the side here. And then we will come in with our, where's my loop? From the top here. My loop is not picking up as good as I'd like. Yeah, I think I'm gluing that post up against the gun tub. Now I know that it's in the shadow there and you can't see it. Well, don't feel bad, I can hardly see it myself. Now what about the other side? Can we get it to wick down? Now this one you can see better than me because you're at a different angle than I am. I'm off to your right. Okay, I think I've basically got that. If we don't bump it, it'll stay there. Might have to touch it up slightly with paint later, but I probably won't. Okay. I'm going to call it quits here for this episode, folks. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.